Oh my god, that's heavy! What should I put on this big thing? Hello everyone, my name is S Comic Maker, and if you came for a spooky good time, you came to the right place. While what we're carving here today isn't necessarily that scary, it is a beloved Halloween icon. We are carving ourselves a witch, but not just any old witch, a witch that is near and dear to my heart. We'll be carving one of my own characters, Zoe. Zoe is my sweet, sparkly witch girl from a series I've been working on called Moe Monsters. If you want to hear more about her, I'll leave an iCard here where you can check her out. I really wanted to carve a pumpkin this year. It's been years since I've done it and I've been itching to. I thought it would be a super fun video to work on with you guys, so in my last stream, we carved this bad boy together. I kinda had some ideas, but I sat down earlier that day and tried to come up with a design that I thought I could pull off as well, and incorporate all of the witchy details that my character Zoe has. Zoe definitely has a star or galaxy theme, so I knew I wanted her against a moon and to have stars everywhere. The tricky thing about coming up with your own pumpkin designs is that you have to try and think backwards or think in a bigger picture. If you're a beginner like me, it's probably best to come up with a design that is easy enough for you to figure out what parts you are removing. So I sketched out my character, and here is the final image I came up with to carve. I made sure to figure out all the areas where I would have negative space / wanted the light to shine through. But I may have been a little too ambitious and detailed, and I'll explain why a little bit later. After removing the guts, I took a red Sharpie and sketched out where I wanted everything to go. I didn't end up taking the marks off at the end, but from some pumpkin carving videos I've watched, the Sharpies can be removed with rubbing alcohol. After getting things where I wanted them, I finalized some stuff by using a black Sharpie and started carving. I used one of those cheap Pumpkin Master carving sets you can get at any Halloween store or big box retailer around Halloween. Although the metal for them is pretty flimsy, I could probably use them again next year, maybe the year after, but I don't know how long these things will last. It took a little bit of patience and working slowly to get in the smaller areas around the face and the wand, but I think I was able to get through it all right. I actually finished carving this pumpkin way faster than I thought I would. Between taking out the guts and carving all the details, I spent maybe an hour and a half on this. I would say a quick tip though is, if you're getting confused about what you're carving and what you're not carving, make sure to put little X's on all the spots that you know are going to be taken out completely. That helped me save a lot of time and confusion as I was going into it. I also made sure to do my best to carve diagonally into parts of it so that way you couldn't see some of the thick pumpkin parts behind the outer shell of it, because I think it helps it out a lot and you get more space that the light comes through. And then at the end, I took a little toothbrush and went around and cleaned up all my edges and made sure that there were no stringy, nasty pumpkin bits hanging around the back of it. Then came the exciting part, lighting this sucker up. In ye days of old, as a kid, we used to use, or at least my family used to use, candles to light our pumpkins, but this was the first time that I actually bought a little light to put inside. It had 3 different settings. Strobe, which, good God, no thanks. I think that only makes sense if you have like a scary image. Then there was like a yellow flicker to represent a candle, and finally, epic rave. Tip, 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 tip. Although for some reason, my camera had the hardest time picking up the lights because it didn't have enough time to focus, so I actually resorted to turning the flash on my phone and putting my phone inside the pumpkin, which, yes, it did result in my phone being a nasty, crusty pumpkin mess, but it was worth it because I think it came out pretty cool. But seriously, rest in peace, phone. After finishing and cleaning up a little, my husband and I actually worked on a second pumpkin. This time we decided to work on a Kirby one. We don't have any clean footage of it, only views from our stream webcam because it was just going to be like a bonus pumpkin so that we could both have one, but I ended up helping him carve some of his using a different method, which was with actual carving tools. I have seen so many amazing pumpkins where people will not carve through the pumpkin, but carve away at different depths to create different values when their pumpkin is lit up. Since I've never tried it before, I thought it would be best not to do it with mine, but we found a Kirby picture from someone online that I thought would be good to try, so after my husband cut out his Kirby, I helped him carve his a little, and I love his. Next year, I definitely want to try out this method of carving. When I was in college, I took a lot of printmaking classes and cracked out some of my old carving tools for this. It's been so long, but carving felt awesome. Here's a pic of how his came out. Overall, this was insanely messy, but a blast. I'm even considering making it an annual thing, but there is an aftermath, so let's talk about that really quick. A moment of silence, everyone, because by the time this video comes out, this pumpkin will probably be completely dead. Let us bow our heads. Because just 3 short days later, the pumpkin is falling apart, especially her hands. Now, I know what I would do to fix this next time. There is a reason why jack-o'-lanterns work so well. There are big spaces carved out, so as a whole, the details last longer, but because there are just too many small slivers of pumpkin for like the wand and her arm and little parts around her hat, it is very quickly deteriorating. Now, some pumpkin pros recommend spraying their pumpkin to keep it fresh for longer, but I don't think it would have stopped the inevitable in this case. Maybe a little bit slower, but by the end of this week, I think we will have met the end of this pumpkin. Next year, I know I'll do better though. But Kirby's still looking awesome. Now I sit here enjoying the delicious pumpkin seeds of my labor. We did actually bake the seeds. I made a regular salted one and a cinnamon sugar one, which they came out pretty good. I am already really excited to try this again next year. Well, comic maker, it fell apart in the end, but maybe next year you can make a pumpkin that'll actually make it to Halloween. You know, Banana Man, I can carve bananas too. That's what I thought. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out on stream with us while I worked on this beast of a pumpkin. It was a lot of fun to work on, and while it didn't last long, I would do it again in a heartbeat. As always, videos like this are possible because of my amazing patrons and people like you who like, comment, and share my videos. If you're new and you like the silliness of today, be sure to subscribe. There's a lot more to come. I appreciate you all stopping by, and I hope that we can carve together again soon. Bye guys.